Good morning, everyone, and welcome once again to another edition of Coffee and Sports in the Morning. I'm your host, Mr. William B. Morgan, for the day. Hope everyone's having a great week. Hope everyone had a great weekend. Mo, how you doing today, my brother?
I'm doing great. Blessed on Monday. Sitting here chilling with you, ready to talk sports.
Oh yeah. Facts. All right. You know how you go through things and certain things bother you, and you want to answer for it, and it's like you just can't figure out how to fix an issue. One of the things that's been bothering me in the sports world is all this NBA tanking talk. And I keep hearing the talk, but no one's given a way to fix it. Have you figured out a way to maybe fix the tanking issue going on in the NBA?
I don't really think there's a perfect answer to it. I just find it interesting that suddenly tanking is a big issue when you can make a point that it's been going on for the last 20 years. So
Yes, that's good. That's true.
it's not new. It's been going on for the last 20 years. And maybe it's become a bigger, it's weird to say this, but it's a big issue because teams that are, I would say, more stable or winning organizations, maybe they're complaining because the same 8 teams live in the lottery and they get these number one picks. Um, but even with those high draft picks, they find a way to ruin that talent or they select the wrong player. I think to say let's get rid of tanking, easier said than done. I don't think there's no one way to do. You certainly can't penalty your way out of tanking because most clubs would value getting a higher draft position than losing a couple of $100,000.
Right.
I don't think I'm not sure there's a one word solution to that or one thing in specific that can stop it because like I said, it's been prevalent for 2 decades or more. Um, you could bring the owners together, you can bring the GMs together and have a conversation about the integrity of the game, and I think they would all listen to that. But if you're a team like Utah, if you're a team like Charlotte, who by the way have played a lot better over the last month or so, a team like the Wizards, a team like the Kings, and you basically live in the lottery, well, can I say I don't think the Wizards are tanking. I think they're honestly bad. I don't think the team like there's some teams where they use the term tanking. Maybe Utah's tanking because they literally one game took their two best players out the second half of the game they were winning. I think they still went on 2 win, but that could be considered tanking. I don't think anything Sacramento does on the floor is tanking. I think they're losing honestly. They're just not good. I don't think the Bulls are tanking. I think they've made some questionable moves. But I also think that they're not run the best. I think John Paxson has probably been one of the worst GMs over the last 2 decades. And so I think it's about how your organization is run and a culture that you can build or not build. Today's NBA, there's a shortage of strong cultural franchises, the way they're built from top to bottom. I think that's been going on for a long time. Tanking has become the thing to talk about now, but I'm just wondering why it's so important now when it's always been there.
Well, talk to me about this because you would know more than me. This is supposed to be the best draft that we've had in a long time, supposedly. Um, but it seems to me it, as most drafts are, it's it's top heavy. Once you get past the first, three guys, maybe four guys who are scheduled to go, who else is coveted in this draft?
And I think that's where it is. You're hearing a lot about Cam Boozer. You're hearing a lot about the young man out of Kansas.
Yeah.
There are some really high level guys that I think are going to be impactful at the next level in the NBA. But you know how the draft is, Will. A college superstar doesn't always translate to an NBA superstar.
Facts.
Um, they could have the pedigree, come from the right family, all those things, the right school, and you can't really determine what they're going to be at the next level. So I watch college basketball, Will, but I watch it more in spurts than I used to. I used to watch it like religiously, but so much has changed with the whole one and done thing. So to me, it's hard to have these real rivalries when the best players only stay 1 year. Um, so while I value and appreciate everything they do at the college level, a lot of these guys, Will, you know this, they're already making business decisions for what they do with the pros. Like some of these guys are not playing as much, or like they're already focusing on their career and their brand and what they're going to do in the NBA. So I don't put a lot of stock in what some of the pundits say about who should go number one or it. There's the talent, there's the potential, and then there's the fit. And depending on the organization, that matters too. You send the kid to an organization that's perennially struggled, like Sacramento,
Oh yeah.
and they have no culture there. I don't care how talented he is. Winning can wear in your mental. It can wear in your mental, and if you don't have the right people around that player while he's developing, it could change his career arc. I think your talent as an individual matters, but I also think where you go, the team you go to, the structure they have around you, that matters just as much.
Now let's talk about said teams. Right now they're playing really well. And I'm talking about the Detroit Pistons. Despite the fact that they don't have a second score per se, would you still consider them a championship level team?
I I'm a big fan of Detroit, but I've seen this formula in the makeup of the roster construction, and I've seen it have success. I've only seen I've actually never seen it win, not a title. It's had a level of success. We saw this years and years ago with Iverson, where he had a bunch of guys who were dogs that get after it, knew their roles, starred in their roles, and let him handle the offensive load. We saw it years later with your Bulls, with Derrick Rose and the guys that surrounded him. And there is you can have success. I just don't think one guy alone, surrounded by a bunch of guys that are great defenders and dogs. I don't think you can win a title in today's NBA without another guy. And with respect to Jalen Duren, who I'm a huge fan of, I think he's greatly impactful to them, but he should be your third guy in terms of what you do offensively. And they don't have another guy on offense who has the ability to create his own shot
No.
and create for others. And I think in the playoffs, any smart basketball team is going to run a second defender at Cade and dare someone else to beat them.
Now, let me ask you this. I'm going to go to another team over in the Eastern Conference, and that's Gene's Philadelphia 76ers. What is going on over there with that particular team?
It's a bizarre team because really, if you look at them top to bottom talent wise, Philly has all kind of offensive talent, especially on the wings.
Yeah.
And when you've got a healthy Embiid, now you're talking about a guy that's giving you 24 and 12. Philly's weird because I feel like they could get knocked out in the first round, Will, or they could get healthy and make a run to the conference finals. That they're the team that nobody talks about because coming into this season, we didn't have high expectations for the Sixers. Then we see what Maxey has done, what Edgecombe has done as a rookie. They've gotten a great production from Quentin Grimes. Andre Drummond has been one of the best, if not the best, backup center. When Embiid's played, he looks like an all-star all over again. He looks like an elite player when he's played. The problem with Embiid is keeping him on the court. It's always been the problem.
Oh, yeah. Facts.
If the Sixers can go into the playoffs healthy, I think they're the one team that any of the favorites you don't want to see early because they're a tough matchup. So I just think Philly's that enigma. They're the black horse in the Eastern Conference where we don't favor them to win, but could they go on a run and go on a deep run? Absolutely.
So would you say your general consensus as far as a favorite in the Eastern Conference? Would you look more toward Boston or would you look more forward to the Cavs?
I I would look more towards Boston, which is weird because I the season that they're having, I can brag about it. I was expecting them to have this season. I thought they were going to still be really good. Did I think they were going to be good enough to be the second seed in the East? Absolutely not. I thought
Yeah.
for sure the Celtics were going to be a 5 or 6 seed and make the playoffs. But Jalen Brown's playing at an MVP caliber. But it's the guys around him, Peyton Pritchard and Kada and some of the others who have stepped up. And Boston is doing what they do. Uh, Very good defensive team. Obviously, one of the top 2 3-point shooting teams in the NBA. They attack you offensively from behind the arc, and defensively, they get after it. So, yeah, they have the right formula to be a really good team. Do I think they can win the East without Jason Tatum? I don't think so, but the East is wide open. If they add Jason Tatum, because there's a lot of talk about him coming back,
Mm-hmm.
if they can add Jason Tatum, and let's say Jason Tatum comes back and he's 100%, but he's obviously not in mid-season form. But if he comes back in a lesser version or a lesser role where he's like, Jalen, you're still the number one option. You still take 19 or 20 shots a game, and I'll be the second or third option and be okay
Right.
with that,
Right.
at least for this season. If you can get a Jason Tatum that's going to drop, let's say, 18 points a game and 6 rebounds and 5 assists, um, and be consistent defensively in an entirely different role, I think Boston could come out of the East that way, because I think the Knicks have shown you they have a kryptonite, and it's the Pistons.
Oh yeah.
The Pistons have dominated the Knicks this season, and it's not about talent because top to bottom, the Knicks have more talent. It's the fact that Detroit is younger, they're more physical, they're more
Mm-hmm.
athletic, and they just wear New York down. Detroit has made a commitment where we're shutting down Towns, Bridges, and OG, and we're going to live with Brunson playing hero ball, and we'll just wear him down by consistently attacking him on the other end. And it's worked. It's not just kind of work. They've blown them out 3 games in a row. That's not an accident. That is consistency. That is a habit. I think Detroit is the worst possible matchup for the Knicks, even with all their flaws, because again, on paper, I don't think Detroit has enough shot creation or enough shooting, but they match up perfectly with what the Knicks do best.
The way those guys defend, man, they defend at a very high level. Um, but you can't beat. That's something that you can teach to a certain extent, but a lot of that is more want to. And man, they are playing some good ball. They are playing some good. I give the Pistons their credit. I didn't see this coming from the Pistons. I didn't see it coming at all. The way
No,
that
you're
they're
right.
playing.
Well, you're spot on. They're relentless defensively.
Yeah.
And they're interchangeable. They've got like 8 or 9 guys that you can switch in and out, and the defense doesn't trail off. And like I said, every last one of these guys, they star in their role.
Yes.
Um, I think they're built for the regular season. I think they can go on a deep playoff run. But again, when they play against some of the better teams, and Cade is targeted more, who's going to step up and be that guy that on a given night can drop 20 points a game or give them 18 or 19? That is I'm telling you, that is the key to Detroit. How are they going to generate offense when Cade gets blitzed and he gives the ball up?
Right. In the playoffs, it's hard to play in Madison Square Garden for Detroit. They're saying the pressure is a lot. That's true, Nature Boy. That's true. Appreciate you joining us this morning, man. Thank you for being here. Right now, Mo, let me ask you this, sticking with the NBA. Right now, who would you say your MVP would be?
The weird thing about MVP is it's so wide open because if Joker, if SGA don't play enough games, the cutoff. If they don't get,
Mm-hmm.
they're not even going to be in the hunt. If I knew for sure that they were going to play enough games, honestly, I still think it's SGA. I think it's SGA.
Not Joker.
Especially with Joker's a statistical beast, but I'm looking at a guy that's the leader of the defending champions. His second best player missed damn near the whole first half of the season, and they didn't miss a beat because of him.
Right.
That's how good they are, but more importantly, that's how good he is. And so a lot of people like to use the tag two-way player. Shai's a two-way player. He don't slump off on defense. Shai gets after it on defense too. If I'm coming back from winning the title and I'm putting up numbers as good or better than last year, and I'm leading us to the best record in the entire league, and we're shorthanded with guys in and out the lineup, why he's my MVP. Here's the more interesting thing, though. J-Dub's out. Now Shai's out.
Mm-hmm.
This goes to show you how good a coach Mark Daigneault is. They got their two best offensive players are gone, and Daigneault is like, but we can still hold our heads on defense. They're still the number one defense in the league. So that what they do is they get after you on defense, and they generate offense off through their defense, even without their two best players. Oklahoma City, to me, when they're completely whole, still the best team in basketball. If they go into the playoffs completely whole, is there a matchup that they might struggle with? Yeah, I think the Spurs are deep enough. And the thing is, I think this is where their youth comes in and it helps them. They don't know, and I'm talking about the Spurs, they don't know what they don't know. They don't know what they don't know.
Right.
They come in playing with all the confidence in the world. You got Wemby who wants to win right now. Stephen Castle is an absolute beast. Wemby's their best player, but again, Castle is their alpha. Castle is the dude. They could give Oklahoma City problems. That could be a 7-game series. But outside of that, I don't think there's another team in the West that can challenge them.
Talk to me about the Houston Rockets and what's going on over there, bro.
The question for the Rockets coming into the season was, because of the loss of Van Vliet, were they going to have enough guys who can play point guard or generate offense and have a true playmaker? They got off to a fast start, but you know what happens is teams get used to you, and they start dissecting what you do or you can't do. The Rockets, they don't have a true playmaker. They played a game the other night versus the Knicks, and one guy, he's a reserve for the Knicks. He used to be in the Pelicans, Jose Alvarado, comes off the bench, and because they don't have a true ball handler, he completely disrupts Houston's offense, turns the game around. KD can facilitate to a degree, but the more he facilitates, the more he turns the ball over. He's a high turnover guy when he has to be the primary. Same for Şengün. Houston's kryptonite is they don't have a true playmaker. And I think it hurts them in the regular season. It's going to hurt them even more in the postseason. So I look at Houston coming into the season. I said this. I get it. Having KD go makes you feel like we got a go-to guy. But what it didn't change is you still don't have a lot of shooting on that roster, and you still don't have a playmaker. And that's going to hurt you in the postseason.
Were you sort of kind of shocked they didn't put a bid in to maybe have another run with Chris Paul?
Yeah, with all this stuff about Chris Paul retiring early or all the stuff going on with the Clippers, no one told me that Chris Paul couldn't play anymore at all, right? No one said he can't play anymore. and we're not even asking Chris Paul to play at a superstar level. I'm just saying, you're telling me Chris Paul can't give you 15 minutes a game, giving you some decent point guard play? I think he could. So I'm kind of shocked they didn't try to get something and bring in Chris Paul.
David, man, you right. You are absolutely right, my friend. You're absolutely right. They can have any of them 9 guards. Let me go over to your team, your team of preference, the Los Angeles Lakers. What's going on with them? I often call them, and you know me, I call them the biggest tease in basketball. What we got going on with the Lakers?
Nothing. It's the same old. They beat bad teams. This isn't a criticism. This is, you're supposed, like, you come into a season, and there's certain teams you're going, we're supposed to beat them. The Lakers they've feasted off of beating bad teams. And they've also gotten their breaks beat off by by better teams. They played the Celtics last night. It was a competitive game, and then it became a non-competitive game, and the Celtics just ran away from them.
Yep.
This is what I'm talking about when people get caught up with star power. The Lakers come on the floor, Luka, LeBron, Austin Reeves. Luka and LeBron are both all-stars / superstars, right?
Mm.
The Celtics' best player, obviously Jaylen Brown. The next best player in terms of what they do offensively would be Peyton Pritchard. But I would ask you, is Peyton Pritchard as good or not quite as good as Austin Reeves?
Yeah.
It's close enough to where you can be a
close,
conversation.
yeah.
My point is this. How is it that the three of them, Reeves, LeBron, and Luka, can't outplay Pritchard and Brown? They can't outplay Pritchard and Brown because none of the three of them play defense.
Fact.
None of the three of them play defense. Pritchard's not a great defender, but he competes. Everybody in Boston competes defensively. Jaylen Brown's actually one of the best two-way players in all of basketball. The Lakers, what they don't do is they don't compete consistently defensively in the half court, and they're one of the worst transition defenses in the NBA. If you can run, if your team has legs, and you just control the pace, you're going to wear the Lakers down because they can't play. They can only play a certain pace. So the Lakers are going to make the playoffs, but I have no illusions of them going on a deep playoff run.
I mean, you stupid, man. Oh my goodness gracious. But yeah, I've always thought the Lakers were like just a big, huge tease at the end of the day. Do you think they make any noise in the playoffs? First round out, second round out?
I think they win a first round series. I'd be really surprised if they didn't win a first round series. The second round, you're going to get the better talent. They would need a perfect matchup. What's a perfect matchup for the Lakers that they might be able to win? I thought last year in the first round when they played the Timberwolves that they might be able to upset the Timberwolves, and the Timberwolves swept them.
Yeah.
So is Denver a good matchup? No. Is the Spurs a good matchup? Even though they're young, no. You don't want to play the Thunder.
No.
Maybe you could beat Houston. I don't think that's impossible because, again, Houston has one guy that's a consistent shot creator. That is not enough.
Right.
I think that's going to be a problem. And Houston isn't quite as good defensively in space, especially in late game situations. I think the Lakers could play with Houston because I would argue their top three guys present a problem for what Houston does best offensively and defensively. So if there's a good matchup for them in the second round, it would be the Rockets.
I would tend to agree with that. Like I said, the NBA is just been. If you take away the tanking, if you take that away, do you think it's been a good season thus far?
Yeah, if you can take away the smell of some of the obvious tanking, it has been a good season. We've had Jaylen Brown's had a breakout star. Brunson's had another big year. Donovan Mitchell's back with another good year. Cade Cunningham has as much acclaim to being an MVP candidate as anybody. Jalen Johnson of the Hawks is on the verge of becoming a superstar. So Wemby has not disappointed. Here's a Spurs team where a big part of its core, I think they're like 23 and under. 23 and under.
Yeah, that's sick.
Yeah, that's crazy. De'Aaron Fox is 26. He's like one of the old men on that team. And Devin Fitzgerald's 25, 26. But like with as young as they are to be where they are, that's exciting to me. Watching the Anthony Edwards with the Timberwolves, in a lot of ways, I feel like Anthony Edwards is very similar to what's going on with Detroit. I don't think the Timberwolves have enough offensive firepower to go on a deep playoff run. But I will say this. Anthony Edwards has played in 2 conference finals.
Mm-hmm.
And he's not and that's not with the most talented offensive team ever. So I think we almost underrate what Ant's done. How do you get to 2 conference finals When you only have two guys that can create and get their own shots on the entire roster, that's very unique. I thought they were going to make a play and try to get another scorer on the boards, and they were kind of really quiet around the trade deadline.
Yeah, they were.
That said, Minnesota's a tough matchup because they do play good defense. They're one of the best teams in the NBA at show and recovery on defense, and they don't switch everything. So I think they're sound. But yeah, overall, I would say, well, this has been a fun NBA season. We even got the NBA back on NBC with the theme song and everything else. So that's right.
Yeah.
So look, yeah, compare this to any other season. I think it's been entertaining. Look, you're going to always have some fans that'll complain about tanking or complain about load management or complain about what's that criticism? A lot of these guys, they call them foul baiters.
Yeah.
I got a news flash. Foul baiters have been around ever since James Harden left to go to Houston, and he became a star. You could book James Harden for getting to the free throw line 10 times a game. DeMar DeRozan had multiple seasons where he got to the free throw line 9 or 10 times a game. Like, this isn't new.
Right.
If anything, I would say that some of these guys coming up, they've just gotten better at it, but it's not new. Luka's been doing it for years. Trae Young has been doing it for years. Like, I don't know what. Let's not act like it's a brand new thing. You play the Sixers, whether he shoots good or not, Embiid's getting to the free throw line 12, 14 times a game.
Yeah. Now
It's just part of the game.
Now in the comments here by Nature Boy, Charlotte is creeping up.
They've played really good over the last month or so, and they've been really competitive. I think Charlotte's they're going to be in the play-in. The only question is, are they going to actually be able to play their way into the postseason? But I'd love to see Charlotte make the playoffs. I've said that before. I would like to see some new blood in the postseason, right? Just to switch things up. And the thing about a team like Charlotte is, if they get into the playoffs, they're playing with house money. Will total house, no pressure at all.
Hold on, Damon. You don't mean that, bro. You don't mean that, do you? For real? Look, I saw this on another show, and I think it was women's hockey. For teams who aren't into the playoffs, they do it by a point system. The teams who's not making the playoffs, they get points. Whoever has the most points for every win, if they have the most points at the end of the season, then that team with the most points gets the first pick. The second team with the points after that gets the second, and so on. Do you look at that as maybe a viable way to stop tanking?
I think Silver and company have to view everything. So that's definitely something they should be looking at. That model, that's probably not a bad model to follow. I just don't think you can always reward someone openly trying to lose.
Yeah.
And again, I want to be clear on this. There are certain franchises, they're not tanking, folks. They're just that bad. Yeah, not a lot of these teams are not tanking. They're that bad. There's nothing phony about what the Kings are doing. They're just really bad. And if you really think about it, outside of the one blip season with De'Aaron Fox taking them to the playoffs, they've been really bad for more than a decade.
Oh yeah. D Wade made a living at the foul line. That's true.
He did, but remember, but what he did was more impressive. Remember, Wade he's a product of the 03 draft, right?
Yep.
Well, they didn't. They changed hand checking, coincidentally, the year that he beat Dallas in the playoffs when he shot 911 free throws. But that year that they changed hand checking, and again, it's been changed like 8-9 times over the years. But when they went at it again, that was the beginning of where the NBA is now. Like that was the correction. But look where it is now. They've kind of overcorrected because you've got 5 guys, maybe 6, that average 9 or more free throw attempts a game.
I'm Bull fan. Hey, I mean it. Oh man, with those decisions from that front office, Damian, man.
Why is look, I get it. They like John Paxson because he reminds them of a time they won titles and he was a part of 3 championships. He's not been a good GM.
No, not at all. Not at all. Not at all. I don't understand. Vucevic, I sort of kind of get because you probably won't go sign him at the end of the year anyway.
No, I get that too. And Vuce is 36.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah,
Like
yeah.
he's not part of your future.
No.
So that one I get. But you know what's unforgivable is the drafting of Patrick Williams.
Yeah, that's unforgivable. That's unforgivable. I think teams that look should tank in the NBA lottery should be gone. Into teams with the worst record should get the number 1 pick always.
If
it's a ping pong ball system, though.
But how about this? If you win the number 1 pick this year in 2026, right? But if you turn back around next year and you're in the top 3 to have a chance to win the number 1 pick again, I don't think you should get a chance to. Do you know what I mean?
Right.
So you just got the number 1 pick, and what you did with the number 1 pick is be just as bad as you were before you got the number 1 pick.
Right.
So you can get another one. Like I think that's the problem. You have to discourage that. And obviously the Sixers took it to another level a few years back because
the process.
And look, they almost pulled it off.
Mm-hmm. Almost did.
You know, they almost pulled it off. They hit on Embiid. They hit on Simmons before he had his mental breakdown.
Yep.
Ben Simmons was an All-NBA player, 3-time All-NBA defender, 3-time All-Star. You forget that Ben Simmons, you could book him 16, 8, and 8, and he was an elite defender. They almost pulled it off. And by the way, they almost pulled it off with getting the Jahlil Okafor pick wrong and getting Markelle. Think about this. Had they changed those picks, instead of them drafting Markelle Fultz, if they do the right thing, Will, and they draft Jason Tatum, I'm just saying.
Yeah.
I'm just saying. It's sometimes it's the moves you don't make. Like Tatum was an easy choice coming out. Nobody saw Fultz coming out of nowhere. And I think that's one of those moments where Philly's front office tried to get too cute.
Yeah.
Everybody's looking at Tatum. He's from Duke, blue chipper and all that. But nah, they're sleeping on this Fultz kid. We're going with Fultz. That's how GMs get fired.
Oh man. Stephen A. Smith recently said on ESPN First Take that Ben Simmons is always gonna catch smoke. Come on, man. Really?
Not for me. I think I get after that playoff series versus Atlanta in the aftermath, Ben became like low-hanging fruit for people to bag on, right?
Yeah.
I get that, but I'm over that. I'm on the other side of it, Will. I'm looking at a guy that's still only 28 years old. 28 years old, and you're not on an NBA roster. Never mind being a star again. You're not on an NBA roster.
Yeah.
And I just it's funny because Ben was such an arrogant player in college and arrogant in his pro career until everything went down. I didn't root against him, but I wasn't a huge fan of the personality. I admired what he did on the floor. I'm actually rooting for him to have some kind of comeback. I'm not talking about be a star,
right?
But if he could come back and just be an impactful role player, that would be great.
Oh yeah. Because sometimes I just don't get it. I understand. He says he stole my money this, my money that. Maybe if he would have walked away from the game, it would have been a different issue. But he's 28 years old. You should be in the league. You should be on a roster contributing. And what he said doesn't help the situation. Oh, dang. Bruh.
Damian's harsh.
He is harsh. All right, so I want to switch gears over to the NFL very, very quickly. because I haven't talked to you about this yet. Tyreek Hill gets released by the Miami Dolphins. Where do you think he ends up?
I honestly don't know because the injury that he had, he's going to start the season on the IR. You know what I mean? Like, and you don't know when he's going to be ready. But outside of even if he's 100% healthy, you don't know if he's going to be the Tyreek Hill you're used to, right? Are you getting Tyreek Hill? Or are you getting a guy who's more of a second or third receiver now at this stage? And with Tyreek Hill, don't forget this, Will. He comes with some baggage.
Yes.
Does your franchise want to deal with his baggage? Because he's had a lot of off the field incidents in his personal life, which, look, I don't care what anybody says, something's not right. Do you want that in your franchise? So right. I actually think Tyreek Hill is not in as high a demand as a lot of people think he is. I don't know if anybody picks him up until mid-season or something like that, because he's not going to be doing anything for you to start the season. Right. And again, and with the baggage he comes with, and knowing Tyreek Hill, right? Do you think Tyreek Hill's the type of guy that's going to be like, yeah, I'm not quite what I was, so I'll take a pay cut and have a
you know what I mean?
Right. He's still arrogant enough to where he'll go, you know what I did a couple of years ago or something like that. And that's why I don't think it's going to be that easy for him to find a home. Now, you might get a bad franchise, because there's bad franchises in all sports that'll go, yo, let's go get Tyreek Hill. Like, okay, go get him. You know who'll go get him? The Raiders will go get him.
I'm about to say the same thing.
the Raiders will go get him. Yeah, he's tailor-made for the Raiders. He'll go. The Raiders will pick him up.
Speaking of seeing in the AFC West, Kansas City Chiefs, they got a troubled receiver on their hands, and Rashee Rice, like he's going through some things off the field that he may be able to go through, that he may have to go through some significant jail time. If you're the Chiefs, what are you doing in a Rashee Rice situation?
Look, I think I'm going to let the legal system play out the way that it plays out. If I'm the Chiefs, I think I just got to focus on the guys that we have on the roster in-house. I got to focus on the draft. I think you go forward and you let what's happening with him legally play out. And I would go forward with the mindset of what we're going to be like without him, because they've been without him a big portion of his time with Kansas City anyway.
Yes.
So look, I'm addressing my offensive line. I'm looking for an explosive playmaker as a running back, and I'm going to address bringing in another guy, because at some point you got to replace Kelsey.
I can see him going back to KC. The only problem is I don't think Mahomes looked like that because of the comments he made years ago when he said Tua was a better quarterback than him. Speaking of Tyreek Hill,
he did say that.
He did say that. Yeah.
He didn't mean it, but he said it.
He just said it to get under everybody's damn skin.
Right.
That's what was.
He tried to get under Mahomes' skin, and then he tried to will it, make it a real thing when he said, yeah, the Dolphins, we're going to go to Super Bowl and this and that. And obviously that wasn't a real thing.
Nope. Sure about what. Now, A.J. Brown's been back in the news, and he looks like he's saying he wants to play for the Patriots. As other people have said, the Patriots is his favorite football team. Do you see that transpiring, that the Eagles will actually let A.J. Brown go so he can go play or trade A.J. Brown so he can go play with the Patriots? I don't see that happening.
I don't either. Look, Howie Roseman is the best GM in football. Even if he doesn't want A.J. Brown there, he's got to consider the cap hit they're going to take should they move him, how it's going to impact them, and I think Howie's always looking that way. So,
oh yeah.
My gut instinct is A.J. Brown will be back with the Eagles next year. Maybe that'll be his last season, but I think he'll be back.
Man, he did an interview, I think, with, I forgot who he did an interview with that show. I think it was Julian Edelman on a podcast, and Julian says that asked him, "Is there any way he want to come over to Patriots?" And AJ didn't say he want to, but he did kind of like wink his eye a little bit up and talking about something he won't want to come play for the Patriots. Assuming they can keep Stephon Diggs, who's going through his own little legal issues right now, that would be a huge bump up for the Patriots.
Sure, if they can pull off some kind of deal where they can acquire AJ Brown, that gives you a legitimate number one receiver. Diggs would become the number two. Yeah, it would give Drake May a surefire number one, an elite receiver that can beat one-on-one coverage, sometimes can beat zone coverage. So, of course, he would be a big upgrade for them. Look, New England had a great season, but do you want to add another playmaker on offense? Yeah, who wouldn't? I think they want to shore up that offensive line, and I'm sure they're looking to upgrade offensively. I don't know what Philly would want in return for AJ Brown, because that would determine whether or not how interested the Patriots really are in acquiring him.
Especially that they need to really upgrade that left side of that line. Good Lord. Damien said y'all can have DJ Moore. Leave DJ Moore alone, man. He's still a good receiver, man. Come on now.
He's done some wild stuff, but he is a good player. Yeah,
he's a good player, man. Is he a number? He can definitely help. I don't know about being a number one on that squad, but he can definitely help. Because I don't know. DJ might be a little bit more consistent than Diggs, and
he's younger.
Yeah,
he's younger. Yeah. I think Diggs is on the other side of 30, and Moore's not even 30 yet.
Nope. So he'll still be Moore still be a big help. Come on, man, stop tripping. Then head over to WB real quick to wrap us up, as we were at 9:48. Got about 12 minutes left to go on the show. Got a theory, got a question for you about Julia. And I'm thinking she's on the wrong roster. I'm thinking she needs to be more over on the Raw roster. Because I think she's small enough. She's small, but she's physical. She's dominant. I think it was her that gave Rhea Ripley a black eye the other night. I think she's on the wrong roster. I think she needs to be on Raw.
Yeah, look, I think she should be on the biggest show too. SmackDown's great, but obviously Raw is the main event.
Yeah.
And Julia, to me, as loaded as the women's division is, she seems like she's ready to take that next step and start competing for the world championship. Like I think she's right there to take that next leap and contend with people like Rhea Ripley, you just mentioned, in the EO, or go after Jade Cargill or someone like that.
Yeah,
I think most people view of the two champions, I think they view Stephanie Vacour as if you're going to say weaker one. But I would say Stephanie Vacour is the better wrestler of the two, the better performer. I think she might be a lot tougher than people perceive her to be. Like, I get the hype, right, Will? We all want to see Devil's Kiss, but I think she's a lot more than Devil's Kiss.
Right. Agreed. You liking Drew McIntyre's run right now?
Yeah, look, Drew's a natural heel, and I think he can play the annoying, kind of angry man at the same time, and it works. I think Drew's in this element right now. Like, this is Drew. I love what they're doing with Drew McIntyre. He kind of been in limbo a little bit, but they're letting him shine as a heel, and he's killing it.
Now, back on Raw, they're saying the masked man right now physically is Grayson Waller, but it's going to come back to be revealed to be Seth Rollins at the end of the day. Is the masked man gimmick getting old?
There's so many masked men. You know what I mean? Like we had one, the original, and then it was Theory, right?
Yep.
and now there's another one. I think you can do the gimmick, but I think they've kind of like played it out. Like it's time to do the reveal or something, right? Like this do the reveal. It can get kind of stale, and it can get kind of stale because the Vision is supposed to always be like one step ahead of everybody. If that's the case, then how come the Masked Man seems to be one step of them ahead of them all the time? And there's four of them. I don't know how that works.
Yeah.
Like Heyman is the genius. Heyman should be able to set up a trap for the Masked Man or something, and they can't seem to deal with him. So I think that storyline is getting a little bit dry. They need to go another direction with it.
I think so too. It's time. There's other things that you can do with those guys in the back. I think that's something that's really, really getting old. How you liking the Vision so far? This new version of the Vision.
So now, obviously, because he's a natural mouthpiece, Logan Paul is stepping out front, right? And at the same time, they're trying to say we want to give Bronson Reed a title shot. And look, I get all that. I think the Vision is kind of lost a little bit because, like I said, Bronson Reed is more of a sidekick than he is the guy.
Right.
So I don't picture him as a future heavyweight champion, not anytime soon. And then Theory is definitely like more of a follower, right? Like so he's not going to step to the forefront. So really what they're left with is Logan Paul right now. And Logan Paul has incredible talent. He's a natural when it comes to doing what they do.
Yep.
The question is, what do you do with him? Are they going to give Logan Paul a title shot? Like I could see him getting a title shot, but would it be for one of the heavyweight championships, or would it just be for a belt that he's already worn, like the U.S. belt or something like that?
Right.
I like the Vision was a big deal. Now they seem to be kind of stagnant, obviously, with the loss of what's old boy's name? Just got hurt. The Steiner's kid.
Oh, Braun Breaker.
Yeah, without Breaker, they seem to be lost.
Yeah.
You lose Seth Rollins to injury, then they had to obviously beat him out of the Vision, and then Breaker steps forward and everything looks great, and then he gets injured, and it's almost like a sports team. You get but so many injuries,
right? And
you're not as good or as big a deal as you like. The Vision, to me, they're a hard sell right now to be the squad that runs runs wrestling. Either they're gonna have to add a bigger star, or kind of fade to the back, because now they're not that big a deal to me. Like I it's weird to say this, but right now, just when I thought they were done, I think Judgment Day is more interesting.
Yeah, I think so too. Particularly with what he has going on with what Finn Balor has going on with CM Punk right now.
Right, and then you got Liv. Right, and Liv is going to obviously going to compete for the world championship. So yeah, every time you think Judgment Day is done, they breathe new life into them.
Oh yeah. Did you see Bianca Belair had surgery to fix her finger?
Yeah, and that's weird because I thought they had already had a procedure, and I guess it didn't work as well. That's disappointing because now we're talking about she's gonna be on the show for some more months.
Mm-hmm. We need her back, and we need her back quickly.
We really do. We really do.
Quick, fast, in a hurry. Oh my goodness. Oh man. Let me see. I missed a comment. Let me see. Ooh. That'd be interesting.
I think Aleister Black would be an interesting addition to them. Is that enough though?
Yeah.
That's the question. Like, when I say an addition, I think they need a guy to be to be the main guy.
Mm-hmm.
Aleister Black's not going to be your main guy.
No.
You could sell a bigger name, like Randy Orton could become. He wouldn't. I don't think they would do that, but Randy Orton could be your main guy.
Yeah, he could be. Oh, yeah, I forgot about this, my doggone self. Rest in peace, Rondell Moore.
Yeah, thank you for putting that out there, Damien. Yeah, so young. Look, we don't talk about it a lot, but it's so important. Mental health it's so important. and it matters. And just like at any job, if you're a pro athlete and he wasn't on a roster at the time, and you worry about the isolation,
Mm-hmm.
being away from teammates, from friends, not doing the thing that you've always done, maybe you start questioning how good you are. Like, all those things are real, which is makes it all the more important that you find someone that you can sit down and talk to.
Oh yeah.
Sit down and share your thoughts. What's going on with me? This is how I'm feeling. Because that can only help you. So yeah, look, I just think that it's sad, it's a tragedy, and we
Mm-hmm.
see this way too often in sports.
It's mental health within the Black community is so important, and I will strive to continue to say that, to support that, particularly amongst males. A lot of times we're sort of kind of forgotten in that realm. But mental health is important in the community. I know, being an older guy, a lot of the times when we reach out for help, the community kind of sends us a little bit. And that shouldn't be the case. We should be supported. So definitely um, check your mental health, get to where you need to be. Have any issues? Hey, there's plenty of people you can go out there and talk um, to get yourself right. And rest in peace, Rondell Moore. I remember when that guy was playing.
Yeah, that's tough. Like I said,
Tough,
just
man.
just gone too soon.
Let me see. Oh, Trump ain't the bit. What's up, man? People think that money shit solves athletes' problems. Have to remember they are still human. Exactly.
I agree. You're right.
Exactly.
You're right, Kyle. Spot on.
Exactly. Exactly. All right. Real quick, just want to remind everybody, programming note, tonight, 10 p.m. Eastern, is the Sports Report podcast with yours truly, my man Seven, Ando, and we may have a few guests rolling through tonight. So then just check us out here, 10 p.m. Eastern on Wire Network for the Sports Report podcast. Hope to see you there. Also, we're going to be showing you some of the fine shows that you can watch here on Wire Network right after Mo take us out. Mo, go ahead and take us out, my friend.
Hey, thank you guys so much for joining us this morning. Make sure you check out all the great content we have at Wire to Wire Network. Wire to Wire Network, we appreciate you.
Have a good morning, everybody. Take care.